Alright, so I just got back from riding past Harbor Place Apartments. So I didn't get to talk to nobody, right? I just wanted to kind of monitor what's going on before and make sure I got the right people that's going to be working in my leasing office over there. I'm going to view the doing it myself. I have to go through and make sure everything is signed properly with the underwriters and so forth. I got to make sure all the business is set up properly. I got to make sure you guys have all the supplies, maintenance, everything back in order, the whole 9 yards. And then I got to show you guys how to do all the paperwork for the sales and stuff like that. But like I said, I will be sitting at the leasing offices, and so my aunts and uncles, they will be in my leasing offices from here on out. If I ride past and I see that any type of thing is wrong, it's not even about me calling the police to have things checked. It's about we got the big wigs in town, but the big wigs do not own my stuff. There's no excuse for making anybody wait to get their homes. And they're not homeless. They're ignorant. Robert Lee Johnson is not I'm not his friend right now. He once stole the money from the Cash App guys. Remember I was saying about that Cash App situation, him and his homeboys, and a little car. And I was supposed to help fix the car and stuff, and I was going to stay with him over there with Mr. Johnson and in the apartment complex. I was going to have my benefits transferred, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. Neither could Uncle Anthony. We was trying to figure out why he was trying to move so fast out the apartment complex when his friend was there and someone was missing, which is the other guy. And I was like, ain't this Uncle David Lucky's television, right? Ain't this my cousin's couch? His mom's couch? Ain't this couch in the mom's living room in Indianapolis? So I waited, I wanted to see what's going on. So I had Uncle Anthony McGee, who with me? Help me put it in the storage right next to the, in the storage, because the speakers, all this stuff it was Uncle David's. Lucky from down on Stockbridge. And so that's what we did with that. So, Charmed. Is that what Mom's in? Ain't she in the newest episodes? What wheel is that? Zoe, what wheel is that? What wheel is that? Is that Dukes Houses? What wheel is that? With Piper in there. Let me know, right? Oh, Miss Johnny Mays. Auntie Johnny, great Aunt Johnny Mays. We did her patio. We did her purple passion patio on the back. I did the whole patio. Me, Antoine Elliott, Paul Elliott, Marquise Elliott. We all worked on that together. Christopher Mallet, he helped with it. Mike, yep, we all did it. I had to have help. We had to work simultaneously, and I was dropping them off as different jobs to do it. In Indianapolis, we were doing different chores for our family members. We was at Chucky house. I was at Downside King's house doing breaks and stuff. Then I had Chris and them doing yard work, and then I had Mike and them doing receipts. I had Darian. She was doing light work stuff, but she's always been very, very strong. So she likes to do lawn care and stuff too. At least back then she did. I haven't seen her recently. And then remember Day Day and them. Day Day and them was doing grass work and stuff and cooking and everything. They were more outsourced, like they like to be out and about more than some of the other ones. Miss Mouse was too busy beating people up, so you know how that was gonna work. Paul, Marquise, and Shenanigans kids. Like I said, I thought Nigel did a good job of putting that Crosby project together over in the area, but I don't know who all else was involved. Like I said, if their names is not supposed to be on it, then take them off, or they're gonna go to jail for it. Curtis is definitely gonna go to jail. So I don't know what Curtis think on Lonnie Richard side, but it's definitely, there is no special treatment for anybody. I've never done anything but help. 10 years. Like I said, my Uncle Ernest died, and my uncles passed away. My auntie passed away at the same time, back to back, along with my godson. I had to stay strong. I was already working, boy. I was doing just a lot. I never had a chance to grieve. I didn't have a chance to grieve for Tootsie when she passed away. I didn't have a chance to grieve. It was just too much. I had too much work to do. Charlene passed away. I remember Shelly was just all about, Pooh's son passed away and everything. I said, I know that Aunt Winky just passed away too, and I know that Aunt Daisy just passed away too. And I'm working on a car right now, I'm fixing stuff. I'm doing everything by myself. I mean, and the guys are there to help me, but no, I'm doing my own work. Together we work at the shop. We separate and do the side jobs, stuff like that. Just cutting grass, mowing lawn, painting houses. I was working, taking care of mine to 7 houses. With Dee Dee, Janet, Brenda, Charlotte, Faye, it was all of us. So we moved from Louisville to Indianapolis. So I hang out with Uncle Babyface, Uncle Evans, and Kevin and Clifton and all them. So then from there, my mom went to Denver. And then she started opening up a Barry White, and she did some plays and stuff like that. And then from there, when Mama died, Lavinia died, Mama, Grandmama, we went back to Louisville, Kentucky, and started staying there. I took over the house. We had to. I took over everything. Then we stayed there. Then, but my Dorothy came into the picture around that time. And then she moved us over to the other side of town. And then we sold the house to the neighbor, from I remember. I don't remember, but it's something like that. And Miss Rowan's lived right next door, and that's where the golden ticket was. I had too much money, so I had one check underneath Granddaddy Charles's black truck on dollar bill side, so I wouldn't lose it by the fig tree. And then I had the other check was in Miss Rowan, so she's the one that had the other information for the other money. And 32 Pasadena Drive is where Brinks brought the other check in my pay card. When Andre came to the door, he came to my bedroom door, knocked on my door. It was me, Mr. Barnes, and Culpepper and Terry. We owned that house. And then Miss Benita's family around the corner, which was Carlton. It's just a couple of them. And then they moved over to the luxury apartment. Oh yeah, the luxury apartments is another one of the properties that we own, guys. That's another one. Hey, I just delivered and Keisha Eubank, she been in the middle of everything. They call her like a fly on the wall, right? We will never be friends again, ever. No way in hell. That's a Donna's homegirl. So we know what's up with that. So the check was delivered. Andre Barnes, I'm in my room. I just came back and working in Firestone part-time, down the street at the shop. I'm in my room, doing a click on the nap, getting ready to check my clothes and come out and see my regular clothes on and see what's going on, right? But I'm waiting for the check. I waited for it. I knew it was coming. It already told me it was coming. And Mr. Barnes comes to the door, wakes me up, and he says, look at this. He has this big old check in his hand, no name on it. Nothing like that, but the routing number and the account number said Chase, which means Morgan, right? I said, and I was kind of my sleep. I said, okay, what's that? He said, what if this was a real check? And I said, well, let me know if it's a real check. Where's everything? Where's like advertising? Let me see it. It just looked like a little advertising. And then I thought about it, and I seen Brinks ride past after he went back in. I said, well, let me know if it's a real check. Let me go see. I said, you got nothing else, no other information? Then go right now. I don't know. This is it. I said, okay. Then I remember he told me my tax money was in his account. Like $67, something like that. And then I remember all my stuff was in the account. I don't know how it happened. I don't think he did. I think it was an accident. But we were staying on Pasadena Drive. And that's when they blocked my profile. And when I spoke to the people then, they said that's where my profile was blocked. Right then and there when they checked in. I ended up with the card in my hand later. Right? After however it plays. After it was delivered, what I seen, after he was back in the room, after we talked about the check or whatever, and I was like, okay. And Brinks rolled past, and I thought about it. That's my check. And I said, wait a minute. Hey, you mind if I take a look? I showed Mama that money years ago. I forgot about that. And then I said, wait a minute, it might be the other check. Of course, it's like, a lot of checks. I want a lot of stuff. There's a lot of projects. 20 years here, you know what I'm saying? Back and forth to Indianapolis, back and forth to Denver, Colorado, back and forth to Kentucky. But never got to finish taking care of everybody in Kentucky. I would never get to Charlotte on time before it was time to leave. It's making me upset. I was trying to get my cousins, make sure car is fixed, make some other cousins' stuff car, make sure Debbie's stuff is fixed, everything. I never, ever We wanted to leave that side, but we always have so much fun. And then when I seen her for the first time, I wasn't sure I was even looking at her. I said, Shirley? And then I seen Debbie one time. I remember I looked like she was working in the place, so I said, okay, she'll check on me. Cool. And I think her kid had came, and I didn't want them in the house in 2981 with Gary Pillar, and then we was throwing Rashad in the fucking jail. Out. I mean out. When you go on that Smiles and Miles page, the old page, you'll see those videos of them tearing that house apart. Them police came 100 and something times, threw Nate out, they threw Rashad out, they threw Zaria out, they threw all of them out. I kept throwing them out. The goal was to move Gary Pillar over to the Crosby. That's where he was going to go. And then clean her house up, and then Miss Tucky was going to take and come home to the house. And then she's going to take Dezmond, me and Dezmond, we were going to go to the big house. And then we was going to put, Jen and then was going to take and put someone in the little house right there. And then Ryan C. could buy me the house down the street. And I haven't heard from him about that yet either. Okay, not to mention I already purchased that whole entire lot in Beaufort, Georgia. When me and Daddy won that money, and then I won some more money, and then it's called member services for the lawsuit at the hotel in Jamestown. We went through that, and a little more. Tootsie's safe was in the basement. It was for me. Uncle Gilbert helped me to put that safe down there. I think Uncle Ron helped. We put that safe in that basement. When that safe came up missing out that basement, I did not make it home. I was still working at Firestone, or Finish Line, or Renison. I was at all three. I was busy. And at that time, my fuel pump had failed. So when I got on highway, so it messed me up, and it was too late for me to jump on the plane, and everything was just so much going on. So I couldn't make it. So that's how that went. So I ended up with that check. I ended up with the card in my hand. It cost $13,000 to make that card over for my leasing offices because it works more than one office, right? And buildings and other stuff. And it's also my pay card too. So when Tyrone Livingston chased me down with that card, Jerome them, I remember Uncle Henry said he gave my other check to the wrong people. It went to Jerome Dennis' new house, or it went to Uncle Pete's new house. Over there off of North Harrison. That's where the check went. That's what the mailbox told me. Or is that the lawsuit for PNC Bank, which is a $27,000 check that Jeffrey and Gary had in their hands, and the other one's a $17,000 check that they both had in their hands. I never got those checks. I told them those are my checks. I'm gonna happen to y'all. I asked. I never gave my checks. I knew whose checks they were. They're mine. So I asked you guys about that too, Jeffrey. And at that time, I didn't know where you was. After I got the house done, I had a heart failure, ended up in the hospital for a whole month. I was trying to find you, but not Quan, not none of them guys would get me your number, nothing. I was gonna tell you I got the house back, come on home, that's just me and you. And I was gonna leave you guys there, and I was gonna go back home to the big house. With a family business to run. Doing just fine at home. So anyway, that is it on that. So y'all know what's up. Make sure that y'all pay my dude really good because he does good work. Don't leave him doing dumb stuff and being around people he's not supposed to be around. And he's not supposed to be around none of them at all, Nate, none of them. Like I said, he's on medicine like I'm on medicine for heart, but he's had surgery a while back. You know, he's not strong. He's way stronger than people. he do good hard work. But anyway, y'all keep an eye on him. And then once we get moved to our house, then I'll be cool with company after that. We'll be stable. I'll be at work. He'll be working. We'll do good. But like I said, Uncle Raphael's coming home no matter what. So y'all get ready for that. I don't care what he got going on. He's coming home. Hi, Auntie Berlin. Hi, Aunt Berlin. Don't forget about that will, Uncle Ralph, when you get done, when you get a chance to set something up. Very, very small. Like I said, once I'm moved in and then the law firm, you guys can come home. All right. My furniture must be there. I hope you talk to Dennis and make sure you got all me and Mom's furniture back in that house. Because that stuff was put there by Mr. Carpenter, by Mr. Rhodes, by Zelda, and then by Toro and Aunt Velvet. All of them put that stuff there for me, and Denise and my sister.